turn the page and have a look at the Netherlands, because they also came through a penalty shootout, as Spence said on the stage. That was against Australia in the round of 16. They finished second in their respective group. That would be Group A on 19 points. 19 points in Group B tops you the group. So take up that what you will if we're looking at the groups. When you look at their sort of that team, 3 fantastic individuals. I like the addition of Manu Bashir sort of coming in, and whether it's in a penalty shootout, whether it's in extra time, they always seem to do the deed. But look, I mean, we'll just let you see these pictures at home. The Moroccan team having the huddle, and I'm sure there's going to be a bit of noise as well coming with this.
Well, in order to have the success, you have to have levels of commitment, of course. And for everyone at home, all these teams work towards this event all year long. So it's not as if they just showed up, they just got partnered, they just coordinated. They've been dedicating their entire year for these types of moments, and that's why you have the energy, the pop-offs, the type of immaculate vibes that have been on display. I saw chairs getting beat up, things were getting thrown around, interviews, smiles, drama, tears.
Sunglasses.
All the above, all the above. But I think we should touch on Netherlands. I call them the trifecta, but potentially the strongest if you're looking at 3 players individually, when I'm talking about the likes of Levy, the likes of Yilmaz, who already won ECL, Manu Bashir coming from that Team Hullet, that same collective, the Renzo grouping, if you will. But in a 2v2, it's really only Levy that's had some of the results and being teamed up with Alito. We saw the E-Club before. We also saw the E-Club last year. We saw the EA Sports Cup, where they were the winners of that as well.
And they just seem to get over the line. They've not had a great history in this tournament. They lost in the round of 16 last year to Sweden, the Netherlands. And the 2019, they got grouped, believe it or not.
I would argue that they're similar to Germany in some ways with the E-Nations. They haven't had the breakthrough, but you look at individual players, individual successes, and even 2v2 successes with club teams. It's been there. There's been handshakes, hugs, trophies lifted, all the above.
Manu Bashir was the Eredivisie champion with Vitesse earlier on this season. Do you know who was hosting that event at the Eredivisie?
Dan Gaskin.
The man stood behind Morocco, Mr. Dory. He was watching it all unfold. Maybe he's got a little bit more knowledge than he like Son.
Yeah, well, these guys already played against each other. They train together sometimes. You know everybody in the competition. The who's who knows the who's who.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great game. Expect it to go long. Both teams coming off the back of penalty shootout wins. Neither looked super convincing in their respective games. Both were quite low scoring. They had spells, but didn't sustain it over a long period of time. As here we are into the FIFAe Nations Cup quarter-final. Morocco kicking from left to right, all in red, green shorts, and from right to left will be the Netherlands in blue.
In a perfect world, I'd love an opening goal, early opening goal. Because what we have seen as a theme today is games that go late, often very cagey affairs. A lot of it's dictated via that first leg.
Yeah, the first leg, neither team necessarily plays to win it. They both play to lose. I think that's what we've seen for a number of the matches over the course of the knockouts thus far. Morocco, see the team that they're utilising here. A few players, including Samieto out wide, Zidane, R9. And I don't think Dandard.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think they're playing not to win or anything along those lines. It's just more passive. They're not as forceful. You're missing some of that final resolute. You're just not seeing players go for it the same way, knowing that they have that second leg.
But you also, you have to be in the second leg. So maybe just in the back of the mind, there is the, we'll just keep it a little bit tighter, because you can't win the tie in the first leg, but you can certainly lose it. As you see, pretty solid back five there for the Netherlands at the heart of it. You can't miss him, 6'8" in stature. Milinkovic-Savic. Thierry Henry coming in from the wide positions. Roussillon, another addition to these squads that has just shaped the teams in completely different avenue. That's great playing around the box. Reverse Elastico, good defending from Morocco. But it's positive signs for Netherlands. A mistake at the back there from Morocco. Giving them possession away. It's going to fall nicely to Thierry Henry. What does he have in the locker? An elastico, creating the space.
It's good recovery defense. Henry, right place, right time. You see that elastico, the quick turn. We're always trying to lean on that left foot, which sounds weird saying this about Henry, but again, new item, new introduction, new capabilities, and he has been a game changer in the competitive scene.
He didn't start this particular game, Adam Hatake, however he did finish it in the last round. It's going to be Ayman and Marwan for Morocco trying to get the job done. For the Netherlands, we heard it on the stage, Emre Yilmaz, Champions League winner and one of the best players this entire season, getting the start alongside Levi David, Manu Shaw.
If you're viewing this from an accomplishment standpoint, it's very clear that Netherlands would be the favorite. They have the bigger names.
Yes.
They have more wins under the belt. A lot of that, I will say, is 1v1. There are some 2v2 successes, especially when you're looking at Levy and Alito. But
not with another Dutch. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Even if you're looking at the Dutch league, same issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Chance here for Netherlands. They've been building up quite nicely in the opening 25 minutes, getting the ball into Kylian Mbappe. Whether it's Thierry Henry coming in from the back post, they are starting to just tick over. This is going to be a long, drawn-out affair. Make sure you strap in because you're up for another 45 minutes of top-quality FIFA Esports action. The winner of this game guarantees themselves $75,000 and a finals day here at the FIFAe Nations Cup. In what could be, I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it, a nicer side of the draw as well. You're avoiding Brazil, you're avoiding France, and you're avoiding Argentina.
And potentially it would have been Germany as well.
Yeah.
Finland didn't have that upset against Germany.
If you win this game, you're looking probably...
You've got to be happy. You have to be happy with the draw.
Look ahead.
You have to be happy with the draw. I mean, you still have to go out and get those wins. You have to take a commanding role. You have to input your position. You can't necessarily look at it like that, but you can't be mad about how you got positioned.
Here is Mbappe. He's just off the back of that player lock, creating a little bit of space. Frenkie de Jong pinged into Mbappe. A couple of step overs. They are just ever so slightly starting to tick this Netherlands side.
And everything's been right. Missing maybe that final prolific play. You've seen a lot of the skill moves, but I think there need to be a second skill, even after step overs. The way that Morocco defended, where they stepped off, you need that secondary skill move or third skill move just to bait them into an error. And
again, it's the Netherlands just pickpocketing, really, intercepting in the middle of the park. Just as I say that, they do it once again. Morocco, maybe a little bit of nerves just starting to creep in. It's also energy-wise, you've just come off the back of such a high. You now have to settle again. You can't come in with that level of sort of aggression and...
You can also tell two stories here. You can say you're watching Netherlands, you say it's got to be coming. Surely they're going to have the goal-scoring opportunity, or they're going to convert. But on the reverse side, if you're Morocco, you're not down, it's 0-0, you start thinking to yourself, maybe it's my time. We haven't played that great, but we haven't given up anything. We've had a lot of bend, but don't break defense.
When you're playing poorly and you're still in the game, that's when you start to think, okay, we're in this.
My confidence is on the up and up. When I'm competing and I know that I'm not in my best flow, I'm not being fluid, I'm giving the ball away, I'm not having all the extra details and those particulars that we keep talking about. It's not clicking, but I'm not losing a game, I'm drawing even, I feel good about it. I just have to fix what's happening on the virtual pitch.
We'll look to be going into half-time at 0-0, how the Netherlands will once again knock on the door. Frenkie de Jong, he's been at the heart of everything. Green time Travella will sail out for a corner, and the referee will let the Netherlands take it. R9 into Ousmane Dembele, floating to the back stick.
Oh.
Wasn't convincing by any stretch of the imagination from Edwin van der Sar, but he just does enough.
But those could be those moments as well. Inserting some corruption, a little bit of that extra havoc in the box. Goalkeeper comes out, it's mispositioned. Maybe you get a header that you can resurface and recycle. You can knock it down, you can do something with it.
You just see the tale of two different nations right here. Mr. Doria, a lot more vocal, maybe more of a man manager. On the other side of it, with Renzo, he's got the tablet out, he's got the coaching device, and he's well and truly giving some instructions.
Well, if you're Morocco, you can't be happy with that. The only takeaway is at least you didn't concede. But you didn't have any chances. We didn't see breakthrough. You didn't put pressure on Netherlands on the defensive end, in the midfield. Definitely not via the attack.
It's just fascinating watching that Moroccan side.
They are animated. There's no denying it.
That's one thing they are for certain.
I think even if you're a neutral, you sort of want to see Morocco score just because you don't know what could happen. The chair never stood a chance.
No.
I think it was the first time that I've seen that. I hope that it's been clipped somewhere. I saw a punch. The chair legitimately took one to the head.
I don't know if you remember the East Asia qualifiers a couple of years ago when Jay punched the camera when he qualified. He gave the camera a right jab.
I'm not mad. I like some emotion. I like some passion in my FIFA players.
Back underway in the second half. You're watching the FIFAe Nations Cup quarterfinals. In the commentary position, Richard Buckley and Mike LaBelle guiding you through every single kick as one nation looks to set up a semi-final tie.
And I said it before we got started, in a perfect world, an early goal would have been ideal.
Netherlands just picking up where they left the first half. That pass ever so slightly on the wrong side of him. But if you are a Dutch FIFA fan right now, you must be thinking it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, their build-up and their counter-press both look not only decisive, but dangerous. They're getting the ball into the right locations. They're getting a lot of key interceptions in the middle of the pitch. Therefore, they're not being forced. They're not under pressure the same way.
They come forward once again, the Netherlands. This is a big chance. Mbappe with the step over. Goalkeeper movement. Exceptional to shifting to the near post and still nearly went in.
Just fantastic. And if you question maybe that hitting the post, because of the goalkeeper movement, it also shifts the animations, it shifts the aiming. It sometimes can shift how that offensive player approaches those finishes and the result of those finishes. To micromanage that was fantastic from Morocco after a couple of defensive errors.
Well, they've not really played well in the slightest. They're looking to just get something going here at Morocco. Renato Sanchez and Ruud Gullit linking up in the middle of the park. Here is Ronaldo Navarro, but he runs straight into Hernandez, and the Netherlands haven't really had to do too much defensively in this game. Morocco's not made them worry.
Netherlands would love to have that back. They had the break, the opportunity. Very early goalkeeper movement, didn't take advantage of it, didn't anticipate it. I think Morocco chose wrong. It was a big opportunity on a break there, a lot of space to work with. Went for a lob, knockdown approach. Player wasn't into position yet. It also wasn't the right matchup. When we look at some of those knockdowns, those chip through balls, the lobbing the ball forward, even the deep throws, the long throws, you want to make sure you've got your 6'5", 6'6", in some cases with Savic, 6'8", player in that location. He's already identified it. You have the matchup, and it's not a 50-50 anymore. It's now an 80-20.
And it's not the chip that necessarily is OP or strong. It's the player that you're chipping to.
Correct.
You can't. You're not chipping it to Sami Eto'o at the back post. You want it to be, I mean, for Morocco, Gullit, Zidane, De Ligt if you put him forward from centre back.
Well, I talk about it time and time again. It's about not only identifying the matchup, but then being able to take advantage. And also the timing plays a factor as well. If you go too late or too early, you're no longer giving your player the best opportunity for the 50-50.
Take me through this chance, because it was the only opportunity the Netherlands have had.
R9,
clear
you see
cut.
The step over without changing direction from Mbappe is because he's anticipating that he was going to cut back. Early goalkeeper movement, fantastic goalkeeper movement. It's got to be said. A lot of compliments to Morocco there. Fantastic read. It comes off the post, but a reason that it also comes off the post is because the goalkeeper's standing there sitting on it. You almost need the post to help you out. You got to rattle something.
Rattle the post.
He did rattle the post. Indeed. I mean, surely...
Morocco with a chance here.
Oh, that's a risky slide tackle. We don't see the fake Rabona skill move either. It's very uncommon this year. Inside the box, stop, pop. It's almost a fancy way of kind of setting up a fake shot and a recycle, resurface, realignment.
For how... I'll just go and say, for how lackluster Morocco have been in the final third, it's still 0-0. And you take huge confidence from that. Paul Pogba looking for the cutback. De Ligt does well. Both sides have defended very well, that has to be said, and maybe why each side has struggled to convert thus far because of that stellar defensive work. But just a few options that Morocco have taken leave a lot to be desired. As R9 just runs straight into Milinkovic-Savic out the back of the step-overs, heading into the final 16, 17 minutes here.
Morocco might have played themselves into us a little bit too. You're now seeing a couple of these opportunities right on the edge of the box, one skill move away, one mistake, you're putting a little more pressure.
Mbappe just scoops the ball out wide. Musiala, Travella cross,
Goalkeeper's
already moved.
And anticipated.
Do you think it's as simple as the fact that we've not seen a lot of attacking play? The defences have just been very strong. The defensive play has certainly been, if you've got two attributes going up, I think the defending on both teams is probably 90-95, the attacking maybe 75.
Again, when I look at Morocco defensively, they've allowed the Netherlands into the right locations.
Morocco is slightly fortunate. Cafu was just driving all the way down the byline.
They've allowed Morocco into the right locations, or sorry, excuse me, they've allowed the Netherlands into the right locations, but they haven't broken down after that.
He's in. This could be the chance. The Netherlands are waiting for it. Mbappe, great save from Edwin van der Sar. The ball was perfectly weighted and couldn't
Got to score there.
convert.
You have to convert. And just to reiterate again, you talked about, has this been really a defensive matchup? I don't think so. Morocco's had mistakes, plenty of them, but they've done enough. You gotta watch it back. A lot of time to work with here. Beautiful through ball. Mbappe, again, great matchup. You gotta convert there. It's not time green maybe not quite enough power. But if you're Netherlands, you're not getting a better chance. Maybe a little half touch. You gotta read that situation better if you're the Netherlands. When I look at this game, we're probably dealing with 5, 6 good chances from the Netherlands. Maybe a couple half chances in there, but they're in the right locations, the right players, the right skill moves, and it comes down to the finishing or a misread with the goalkeeper.
Does it give them confidence that they're now creating better chances? It's not just maybe that was a lot of space.
They've been probing though, Rich. You start to question, when is it going to happen?
That is something we've seen a lot from Emre Yilmaz. The short corner, the power shot, green time at the near post. It was prolific with that animation during the Champions League, which was victorious at not too long ago. And that just shows when you've got players of that quality, anything can be pulled out at any given situation.
I've loved everything from the Netherlands outside of the finish. I mean, they've given you great versatility offensively as well.
Morocco in the final stages of this first leg of action. The ball pinged around the box. It's all one touch. It's nice and pretty, and unfortunately just runs straight into Ruud Gullit. They have struggled to penetrate that back five.
They caught the pattern there, the Netherlands. They should get the last attack now, but offensively, you look at some of the versatility, the switching of the pitches, the crosses, the through balls, the late releases, the chip through balls, the skill moves. Everything's been there. We even see the power shot, green time finish. The only critique is that they've chosen wrong when they finally got it into the box when it came down to the 1v1. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't.
That's what I like to hear. But everything else from Netherlands, you walk away from this, the game plans work.
Could be a chance. Last chance of the game will fall to the Netherlands. Paul Pogba, power shot cancelled. The ref will allow the corner to be played. It's gone short. Here's R9. Do they go back to Ruud Gullit? Yes, they do. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic gets a foot in, and that will do us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the opening leg of FIFA. 90 minutes played, Morocco 0, the Netherlands 0. Got a little bit of time here, Mike. If you're the Moroccan side right now, you're probably quite happy, to be honest. You feel like you've not played that well, you've not conceded. Yes, you might have struggled to create clear-cut chances, but you're well and truly in this game.
My question, if you're a fan of Morocco, is in that camp, what are you going to change? What are you going to shift? Or do you just say we're going to be better? I don't know if that's going to be enough to just say I'm going to be better. I'd like to see some sort of tactical adjustment there. You got the 0-0. You must feel very fortunate. You've done a fantastic job. Whoever's moving the goalkeeper between them.
Oh, the goalkeeper has been fantastic.
Oh, just top drawer.
that good. I want to see it again. Let's have a look at the best moments from that first leg right now. This was the opening one. It came inside the second half, and it's all about, just look at the goalkeeper here for Morocco. He shifts to the near post. That's all manual. Tips it onto the post, Mike.
That's so much harder to do than you might think at first glance. Is a lot of risk and reward. Big through ball here, big switch. Mbappe, the right player all day. You might have got away with one more touch, maybe a little more power. It should have been time green. But you ask yourself, how many chances are you going to make? This is a lovely read. The power shot, you see the goalkeeper cheating. He still gets back. Van der Sar still gets back.
And that was 2 back-to-back chances as well. The Mbappe one forced the corner. The Ruud Gullit strike came straight from the corner.
And if you're the Netherlands, you might say, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
What do I have to do?
I think for the Netherlands as well, just seeing that chance, I've got to think it was Emre Yilmaz. They're starting to go to the bottom of the bag now. They're starting to pull things out like, okay, that's not worked. We can't score that way. Let's try the corner. Let's try the short corner and go for the power shot near post. How many more tricks do they have to try and break down this Moroccan side?
You ever seen one of those clips? A lot of times it happens on IG where it's like level 1, level 2, level 3. I feel as if we're seeing that with the build-up of their attacks. You have a lot of the simplicities and the intangibles. Level 1, that's done well. Cool. That did not unlock the goal-scoring opportunity. Now you're seeing some of the cancellations and the additional skills. Now you're seeing the long shots and some of these whipped-in crosses and the knockdowns. And nothing has penetrated. And again, you got to give credit to Morocco. They've stayed mentally strong. They've done what needs to be done with some of these key moments with the goalkeeper movement and last-ditch challenges. But also, if you're Morocco, we need more offense from them.
I was about to say, on the other side, you've got to think Morocco will start to put 3 and 4 passes together, start to move forward into the second leg, and hopefully for Morocco, if you're a Moroccan fan, you might be able to overthrow this Netherlands side. What that would do for you, Saudi Arabia versus Italy in the next game, that would play your semi-finalists. The winner of this game plays the winner of that game, and that is where you'll be moving into a top 4 position. See the conversations ongoing there.
And maybe the irony of this side of the bracket as well. I didn't think Italy looked that convincing in their group play, but I think they've looked the best this far in bracket versus Israel, taking them out of the game. Again, converting those opportunities. You see them with a lot of tempo control, which is difficult to do, whether it's a 1v1 or a 2v2, in order to disrupt and coordinate collectively, synchronized. The Italians looked a little bit different today. I'm just going to throw that out there. Now, I actually think they might be the favorites coming into this, at least if we're basing form, solely off form.
As you see, Morocco just getting the code ready to send on over to the Netherlands. All the conversations are done, all the coaching has been concluded. It's down to those 2 players on the screen for Morocco, for Africa, to step up and be accounted for and potentially clutch up a top 4 position, a semi-final at the FIFAe Nations Cup. And look at right, who's next to them? The Netherlands. 1 booth to the right, and it looks to me like there could be a changing off in Emre Yilmaz. Takes a seat on the couch behind, next to Renzo. Manu Bashir, he's in for the second leg of action.
And what this also shows you is that Levy's the mainstay.
Yes.
It kind of confirms that Levy's the mainstay. And even though Yilmaz has had so much success this year, of course winning ECL, and just a player that I believe the community expects to be reaching multiple finals, holding multiple trophies.
Surprised
a lot
by
more
this?
success to go.
Are you surprised by this?
It's tricky. I want to say no, because I also know what Manu Bashir is capable of. I've seen him play a lot in the 1v1s and the 2v2s. We saw his mental strength in the previous matchup. I think that's such a hard position to come into. You got to be bold from Renzo as well to make that substitution. Manu Bashir comes on only for extra time and penalty kicks. And you also get the result. You block all the penalty kicks. I think you got to give some credit to the character and the communication within that team, and also as an individual for Manu Bashir.
Well, now we wait the second leg of action right around the corner. FIFAe Nations Cup.
We know firsthand, when you get to this point, a lot of it's not ability, it's about being able to handle the moments. Being able to adjust,
pressure,
being able to sit through the adversity, being able to battle back, showing some heart, having that perseverance, managing emotions.
You can see there, Adam Hepake also involved for Morocco. Double change in offing. Just going to let these player cams give you the last image that you might see of one of these two nations here at the FIFAe Nations Cup. Players lean forward. The game is underway. The second leg of action. 0-0 in the first leg. It's a one-leg shootout for a top 4 guaranteed placing. The Netherlands will be kicking from left to right. And all in white from right to left will be Morocco. Ousmane Dembele looking to penetrate, something they couldn't do in the first leg. The bounce just escapes Van der Sar, and we're going to get an early corner here for the Dutch. Frenkie de Jong, edge of the box. Does he have a Trivela in the locker? Yes, he does, but it's green timed and it is blocked.
I think the goalkeeper would have had that even with some goalkeeper movement. If you saw it coming, they definitely saw it coming in terms of the setup. Those ball rolls allow you to re-angle, and that's exactly what they were looking to accomplish with Frenkie de Jong, who has started making it into a lot of rotations. Coming into this tournament, I didn't know how much we'd see him, and he's become become a regular focus and a surprise player, I think, for some.
Chance here for the Netherlands, has to go, and it does! Manu Bashir, secret weapon Manu.
What a sub to have.
Oh,
what a change to have. And we were together last year in Copenhagen, and when we saw a change, we saw an adjustment, we were like, wow, this is something out of the ordinary. I can't believe that it's happening. But this year, we've seen rotations on the fly, pivots on the fly, time and time again.
Morocco find themselves 1-0 down, but what a reply this will be from Samy Eto'o, Thibaut Courtois.
And I'd love to see that breakdown maybe from Alex. There's a three-piece of goalkeeper movement there, from scooting to backing up to then scooting back over again. And it basically defends or hedges the angles for you.
It also just puts that doubt in the opponent, like, oh, he's moved the keeper, I've got to take another touch, or I've got to now adjust my entire thought process. And when it's split-second decision-making, got that there in the end, it's hard to do. Like, you will just make mistakes, and that's where you see players shooting straight at the goalkeeper or even missing the target sometimes.
And what makes it so impressive is you're still defending, you're still chasing back, you're micromanaging skills. And that's why we don't see it done at the beginner, intermediate, often not even at the advanced level, not at this capability. It really gets into the competitive level pros that are able to maximize goalkeeper movement, from when to bring them out, what to anticipate. And then, like I said, that was a three-piece movement, adjustment, scoot and boot. There was a lot going on there.
Since that goal, Morocco just seems to have had a new lease of life put into them. They know what they have to do if they want to continue their run in this tournament. They found themselves trailing against Peru, and what did they do? Found an answer. Or went all the way to penalties with that 90th minute equaliser, which they got, and penalties is where they were successful. However, it is a completely different dragon to slay here.
We talk about rhythm, the speed of the game, the tempo control again. This is fast-paced.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the last leg.
Long switch of play, trying to pick out Samy Eto'o. Just gets the better of his marker, and once again, what the Netherlands do so well, just shadowing all the passes into the box, not allowing an easy pass with a driven pass or any sort of chipped ball into that. It's like you almost got the danger area from the top of the box to the bottom of the box. If you just protect that, you're keep clean sheet.
You know what it looks like, Rich? It almost looks like the last leg was a warm-up game. I know we've seen substitutions and changes, but just not only the speed of play, but just the decisiveness, some of the skill moves, everything looks a little more direct. Both sides. Even the tackles and the steps, the double teams, the team pressure.
We're also playing against the clock now as well.
Yeah, but if you're a Netherlands supporter again, or if you're the Netherlands, you probably want to slow the game down. You already got your goal now. You could argue it's a little early.
Blood in the water, but it may be a second or a third in the offing. Also, how much confidence you get, Manu Bashir and Levy, if you've made the sub and it instantly works. You're now thinking, okay, we've cracked it. We've cracked the code.
Well, it's a remarkable advantage as well to be able to have a player like Manu Bashir. We're talking world class here.
Morocco just rebounds all the way through to Thibaut Courtois. I mean, yeah, Manu Bashir, World Cup Grand Finalist. couple of times as well. Let's not forget that. He is just a sublime FIFA talent, and if he was born in, I would say, 90% of the other nations,
we take him in the US. He plays. If he wants to double up on a citizenship, we'll gladly recruit him.
Just seeing a few runners off the ball here for Morocco. It's Ruud Gullit, but possession overturned, and there could be a chance starting to take shape here. As Ronaldo Navarro run away. Oh. Now the space opens up for R9. Couple of step overs.
What a goal.
You run him away, you forget about him, bring him back into the game. Step overs, finish.
If you want to talk about elite level talent, Rich, from the passing to the taking of the space, speeding it up, slowing it down, then the step overs near post, beating the goalkeeper movement, all inclusive. We're heading to a resort, and it's somewhere in Netherlands.
Amsterdam is waiting.
I mean, if you're a fan of FIFA, and you are if you're tuning in, that has everything. That goal, it's a team goal. I think 7, 8 players maybe touched it if you're talking about the build-up from the back all the way to getting it out wide, then cutting inside. You had the counterattack initially, then you slow it down, then you speed it up. I'd love to watch it back even on our end. There's so much good material.
And them two right there, starting to cook something up special here on the main stage. Live in all its glory in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Netherlands leading 2-0 against a resilient Moroccan side. But in the second leg, just that sheer world-class quality is starting to poke through. What do Morocco have? No one has had an easy game against them. No one gets a freebie. And they will make this difficult, I can guarantee you, for the remaining 48 minutes. But that lead just could be too much of a mountain to turn out. As they come forward again here, the Netherlands. I do think it is like a great white shark. They just smelled it. They smelt the game could be taken over in this opening 45 minutes.
They've always looked more likely.
Short corner. Couple of step overs, just waiting. Finding the byline. It's Milinkovic-Savic at the back post.
That should have been number 3. Again, we talk about the matchups, knowing where the players are, isolating those matchups, and then the delivery, the timing, everything was right.
Player look. It's an interesting corner. It's straight off of Nkunku. He wins the ball back, and that'll do us for the opening 45 minutes. What a turnaround.
So impressed.
6 minutes of FIFA can do for you.
So impressed. Not only with the substitution, but just the mentality, the switch of the speed, and then again, it's the build-up play. It's still the defensive press that's still relevant. It's still present if you're looking at the Netherlands. And then being able to finish, being more clinical. I'd love to get a microphone in there to see what they're talking about. Morocco having a lot of debate. Let's revisit some of these key moments here. You got a big switch at the pitch. Netherlands looking for options. Beautiful entry pass, extra pass from R9 again. Big first touch, important first touch. It's not time green, but it doesn't matter. The goalkeeper's kind of in no man's land. You get that early finish.
And this was a chance here for Morocco. The goalkeeper movement, it was left-right.
That's what I'm saying. You're just casting doubt.
So look at R9 there. They ran him away, and then you almost forget about him. Then he re-enters the picture. Step overs just create that tiny bit of space. Green timed into the far corner.
I even look at passing out of the La Croqueta. There's just a lot of details there. Corner kick, we just saw this in the 45th.
I thought this were a guaranteed goal. Look, they've run
cancellation.
all the way to the back post, though.
You see this is manly done here. You're getting Savic, you're dragging him where you want him to be. Wasn't able to convert, and that's why we're seeing a different tactic with some of the crossing, also with some of the set pieces, especially when we're dealing with long throws and knockdowns and secondary setups.
You can manually position them.
And it's very different, or to me, it's very different than a player lock. A player lock, you can't move the player that's on the ball while you're taking the second player. So this gives you synchronized movements that are completely individualistic.
Because a lot of the time as well, when you start to see Milinkovic-Savic being controlled to the back post, That's where their attention turns. You might be able to pull out a step over and hit a shot to the near post. And it just starts to create that second, third element of doubt when attacking. Morocco need to create some doubt in Netherlands' mind if they want to try and force this turnaround.
That would have been huge. That would have shifted the game. I don't think they needed that Elastico. They might have been surprised with Morocco to have a simple cut inside, and I just think it was late on the player switch from Netherlands.
The press seems to have certainly increased here for Morocco. And we've seen games turn around in shorter time. I mean, if we look back to the Club World Cup, there was a couple of miraculous turnarounds, mostly featuring team footways, that has to be said. With the pressing tactics, with that self-belief, anything is possible. Finesse, Ruud Gullit!
It had to be.
Set and match, a Dutch icon, a Dutch legend for the Netherlands in Riyadh.
And if you could pick a player, we've seen all these guys work with Team Gullit. We've witnessed, I didn't hug, but we saw Yilmaz give a hug to Ruud Gullit in person, ECL. We saw that in Istanbul was a definite energy and a vibe. The most prevalent icon throughout the last few years of competitive FIFA, dominates, controls, just gallops through the midfield.
But he's also not known for that. I think it's a little bit of a surprise factor. You very rarely see Gullit given the finesse.
It depends on the game. Certain years of FIFA, I'll just, for argument's sake, let's date it back a few years. Let's talk FIFA 19. Everything's going in from outside the box.
Yeah.
I don't care who's shooting, midfielder, winger, striker, maybe a fullback can get involved. But generally speaking, you're right. If you want your midfielders to be involved in the attack, they have to push through. You have to trigger those runs. We've seen this year in particular, a lot of those knockdowns, a lot of the deep through balls, or even the delayed through balls where the midfielder would latch on.
We just see here the tactics being changed around for Morocco. They know what they have to do. It's very simple. 3 goals to force extra time, 4 goals to potentially find a winner. So we know a surprise to Netherlands what the last 37 minutes of FIFA is going to entail.
It's going to be a constant press, which means everything's going to be open in behind, and Morocco ideally needs a goal now.
To the back post. No real confusion on that one.
Oh, what an outlet.
Been very impressed by the Netherlands.
This looks good. This looks right. Even the first leg, we might have been critical in some ways, but it really just came down to finishing. Everything else was right.
Dink to the back post. Chance for Thierry Henry. Cuts it across. Maybe slightly overplayed. Will that come back to haunt them? We'll have to find out.
I was anticipating maybe that heel-to-heel ball roll. That new skill would allow him to change direction there instead of going for the pass. Almost fakes the pass.
Stabbed out wide. Paul Pogba. Mbappe. Not quite on this occasion. I just think they've lacked a little bit of flow in the final third. Morocco. That's a beautiful through ball.
Oh, the
touch. First touch is
no
poor.
good.
But what's that? 2 golden opportunities in the last 4 minutes. They will keep coming thick and fast for the Netherlands to tie this game up. Morocco have to score, and they have to score in the next few attacks. R9, green time, right into Militao's path. With only sort of 2 or 3 minutes remaining here for this second leg of action. Will it be the last couple of minutes we see from Morocco's Nations Cup? The Netherlands are feeling themselves right now. What a substitution, it has to be said. Completely changed the tie, completely changed the entire complexion of this game.
And it brings up an important question. Maybe Spencer will ask that question. Tomorrow.
Do you start?
Do you start Manu Bashir? Why wait for it?
I'm sure that'll be the question a lot of people are asking. Hopefully he gets an answer so Italy or Saudi Arabia can start to prepare for a different duo.
It was night and day difference with the offensive approach. I mean, they look good last leg. I don't want to.
They had chances to lead 1-2-0.
Yeah, there's something different about with this combination, the way they go forward. Just adding some insult to injury. They got everything.
And they can't change anything either. No amazing pauses.
They should have 5 goals. The tricks, the flicks, skills, paying all the bills. They've got everything you could ask for here. There's a lot of storytelling. I'm just so impressed with this pairing. And maybe just the ability to be that flexible. You've got a world champion that you benched for another potential world champion.
Just completely pivot, 360, have the Netherlands, and they pivoted into a semi-final. Fist bumps all around. Levi David, Manu Bashor, Renzo, Emre Yilmaz. The quartet that seems to do no wrong. They make the late changes, they change things up. What we might seem controversially, you bring Manu in for an extra time penalty shootout situation, it works. You swap out Emre Yilmaz, Champions League winner for an entire second leg, it works. You can do no wrong at the moment. As Morocco, with 15 minutes left to play, it just looks to be too little too late.
We've talked about Olito and what he's done, of course, with NIP and TG, with Levy. We've talked about him in the E-Prem with Stokes this year. We've talked about him with Sweden. If Levy's able to get a result here, I think he starts joining that conversation again of some of the better or some of the best 2v2 pairings and partnerships.
Also, I think he probably joins that conversation overall. If Umit is joining the conversation for, I mean, it's just magic right now. Umit's joining the conversation for they're
just cooking.
The debate.
They're devouring their opposition.
People forget what Levy did online. He won 2 events back to back.
But you have to, it's tough for me to give the same credit. Online is online, in person is where the business gets done. I don't know that he moves into that same category with the Nicholas, the Dossary, the Tex.
But he's not far off it.
Even if you want to throw it back with the Ramos or the Bruce Granick, you need that major 1v1 title. Let's see how this finishes up. Adding a world championship with E-Nations to your roster. Or to your trophy room, that's important.
Especially when you are arguably the most important player of that. I don't want to say that. Well, no, it surprised me. I thought Emre Yilmaz would be the person that this team was built.
It's not. It's definitely not.
Levy.
And I think partially is to the success that he's had with Olito. Remember, they won the Esports Cup. We were there.
Yeah.
So now you would have 2 titles, world titles, global titles under your belt in theory here. One with club, one with nation, and you have 2 E-Club top 4 finishes in back-to-back years.
Very impressive stuff.
You're right. I think we're talking about what's needed for Levy is just a massive 1v1 result, and he's starting to jump up. If all these hypotheticals come together, I guess it's only a couple hypotheticals.
Well, this has been a second leg to remember for the Netherlands right now. 5-0 in the second leg. Morocco, unfortunately, blown away by the Dutch.
Still, a lot of credit to Morocco.
Morocco have been fantastic during this tournament. They've brought energy, they've brought great results. They topped their group. They won on a penalty shootout victory. They should be very, very proud of what they have achieved throughout this tournament. Just look at the improvements they have made. Last year, they got knocked out in the groups. This year, they have made a quarter-final with the best 24 FIFA nations on the planet. They have a lot to be proud of. They've done their nation proud, have Morocco. But unfortunately, their E-Nations Cup does come to a close and a new chapter opens for the Netherlands.
And coming into this competition, if you asked people that are involved in the FIFA scene, if you asked the casuals, the intermediates, the advanced, all inclusive, I don't think people would have had Morocco as a top 8 nation. So this is a big movement for them from a national team perspective.
Well, there you have it. 1 quarter-final out of 4 has concluded. The Netherlands will be your top 4 finalists. Let's head back on over to Rachel, Brandon and Aga to give us their thoughts on that first quarter.
Thanks, guys. Well, you can see Spencer getting in amongst it, so I'm sure we just have a couple of moments to have a quick recap of that then. Well, I'm going to say we were talking about that some teams love that we get to the knockouts and we have 2 legs. I'm going to say the Netherlands love 1 leg of FIFA there. They basically felt like 2 different legs of FIFA, Brandon, didn't it there?
Yeah, absolutely. What a cagey first leg of FIFA that one was, and then bang, 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 we'll have 5 goals. And I mean, look, that's just Netherlands popping. We've said for quite some time they are due a goodie nations. The quality that they've got, this is the best team they've probably had on paper. No offence to past rosters. They were grouped back in FIFA 19. Wasn't the best year last year. This is their chance to go and win some silverware.
Why do you think they played so cagey in that first half? I know they had Yilmaz and they swapped him out for Manu Bashore, but is that just kind of getting a feel for how Morocco are playing there?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I mean, the Netherlands has so many strings to play on. It's really impressive, and I think they ask some questions in the first leg and they get some answers, and then they come over to the second leg and gets 5, which was maybe a surprise as well. You got to say that, because Morocco played really well until they came behind with 2 or 3. Then they just have to put every man forward, and then the result got a bit more extreme than it probably could have been. But I mean, impressive performance again.
We can speculate, can't we, all day long here about how they did it, but Spen is down there now with the boys in orange to ask that question. I mean, Manu Bashore there, he is just their absolute superstar sub, isn't he, Spen? I want to know how he does it.
Yeah, we're going to try and find out. Obviously, one of the biggest statement performances of the tournament so far, 5-0 against Morocco. I noticed, Manu, a couple of occasions when goals went in, Levy was sort of pointing towards you. At the end, Renzo was pointing towards you. Like, big moments from the whole team, but it was 0-0 after one leg. You come in 5-0. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I think in the scoreline, yes, but I think in the whole game as a whole, I think Levy and Emre played amazing. They pressed Morocco into their own half. They didn't allow any chances. It was just the final touch was missing, and I think after the 1-0 it gave Levy a lot of confidence as well to keep on going. And if we defend well, which we did both games, we would score a lot of more goals, and we did. So we are very happy to be in the semi-finals, and hopefully tomorrow we can do the same again.
Is it part of the strategy? Because obviously you've got such a great team, 3 amazing players. Almost start off with one pairing, see how the game goes, knowing that whoever comes in can make a big difference.
Yeah, so obviously Emre and me played E-Club together this year. We didn't qualify, unfortunately, but we still are used to each other. We are more of the attacking duo, and Levy adds that more of a stability to our team. So yeah, that's what we both bring, and when Emre isn't really at it or misses a few chances, I can replace him, and the other way around. When I start tomorrow and I play not to my best, Emre will come in and we'll do the bits.
It works well indeed. 5-0, Levy. That's the performance that's going to get a lot of attention. Do you think it makes you the favourites now?
I won't say it makes us the favourites. I think all the countries in are really good. To be honest, on the forehand, I would say Israel was probably the favorite of the tournament. Yeah, but we all 3 playing amazing this tournament. We have Saudi versus Italy, where we're waiting on and see what our opponent's going to be for the semis. Obviously, I've been here last week with Ola, semi-final as well, and now I obviously want more than that.
Have you got a preference of who you'd play in the semis, Saudi or Italy?
That's a tough question. We beat Saudi twice in the group, but that doesn't make that you will beat them again. And Italy, that was our main practice partner, to be honest, for this tournament. So it's going to be a tough game either way.
Yeah, for sure. Well done again. A massive performance from the Netherlands, who go through. Also $75,000, of course, guaranteed. Unfortunately, it does mean that Morocco leave the tournament at this stage. What a performance it's been, though. You've got to be proud of the tournament in general.
I think we have to be. We said it before. The Netherlands is a very strong team. First game went to a 50-50 in the start, but they had a few more chances to end the game, but they missed them. We defended pretty well. And then the second game, of course, we made a substitution, they made it. We saw immediately the run with Hullet. They tried to really put more pressure on. When you score the first or the second, the score for me doesn't matter. I'm not looking at the score. We try to come back on the score because we can play in the back and lose 2-0 and then be like, oh, it was only 2-0, but we go full out and we try to score. We try to come back on them. They have a very strong team. They're my friends, so yeah, we supporting them too to go even further. But for us now, it's a hard time as you lose. But yeah, learning pattern. We didn't go out of the group last year. Now we went out of the group. We won a round, so we can only be proud and look forward. Baby steps.
I think anyone watching would know the scoreline is not everything. It was 0-0 after one leg. That shows that you were more than competitive in there. Finally, have you got a message to the people of Morocco watching and supporting?
Thank you all very much for the support. Shukran bzaf. Thank you very much. Shukran. Merci beaucoup. Because Moroccans speak every single language, so we have to do it in all languages. Danke dir. Yeah, just stay working. Even if Morocco isn't eligible, we have to keep fighting. We have to keep going, because one day they will, and then you'll be on a stage like this one. And yeah, keep fighting, guys. Everybody, thanks for all the support.
Fantastic stuff. Well done, Morocco. Did so well in the group stage. Unlucky to go out here against a very strong Netherlands side. Back to